Hi, I am Adair Danielle with Chaos Tarot, and I'm going to be doing your monthly reading for September 2018. Hi, Scorpios. Just a little bit about me before we get into the reading. This is like my first series, so please like and subscribe. Oops. Um, Please like and subscribe and leave any comments if this resonates. Of course, it's not going to resonate with anyone because this is a general reading, but if it does resonate, please let me know and keep me posted. But these are some great cards that are popping up to start. So, all right, almost done. One more shuffle. Okay, cool. And just until you get familiar, the way that I'm losing my word. The spread that I use, I pull from the bottom of the deck for the underlying energy, then we go to the top of the deck for the heart of the matter, past, present, future, and a card of advice, and I clarify as need be. All right? So let's get into it. Let's see what's popping for Scorpios. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. The heart of the matter is the Ten of Wands. Temperance being the past foundation. The present being the Magician. The most likely outcome being the Seven of Pentacles. And the word of advice is the Two of Pentacles. So it seems like Scorpio, this month of September, we're really dealing and focusing on balance. Really getting into combining two forces that seem to be opposing one another and bringing them together for the good. All right. So with the Queen of Cups being the underlying energy, this is a water sign. So this could be Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. But in this case, I think that it's follow that intuition. You have that natural, it can be maternal, but like that really instinctive, like I walk into a room, I'm able to sense what's going on, I'm able to know what's going on in my heart and start to move in that direction. And so that is the underlying energy. So it seems like you're really going to be tapping into kind of an emotional place to get to where you need to go. Because if the heart of the matter is this burden, maybe you've bit on more than you can chew. Maybe you've assumed the role to mother to others, you're taking care of people, you're taking care of friends, you're taking care of family members, and you might feel like I bit off way more than I can chew. I'm a little overwhelmed, and so you're trying to kind of backtrack without stepping on anybody's toes. But yeah, so this is really interesting. I'm going to clarify, but it seems like you're carrying a burden this month, or you're going to be taking on a lot more responsibility. For some of you, it could be you're taking more responsibility at work, but I'm sensing home just because the underlying energy is the Queen of Cups, and that is kind of where she shines, and in creative endeavors. So if you are like a musician, a writer, it could be creative expression too with the wands and the cups. So here with Temperance, this is a card of like ultimate true balance, right? So this is in your foundation. So you're coming from a place of higher standing and higher ground. But this is also a card of elevation and freedom. See, I always like to point out that this is a hermaphrodite. So she's not even chained to she, he, they, are not even chained to gender constructs because they're genuinely living freedom. And seeing as this is a card where Sagittarius lends itself, it's ultimate freedom, but freedom in balance, if that makes sense. Not necessarily as like the Justice card, or opposed to the Justice card, which is more of like a karmic and what's fair is fair. This is even free from fairness, right? Okay, so if this is your foundation and we're moving into the Magician and you're present, maybe this burden that you feel like you're carrying or this responsibility is something that you manifested and you wanted, but the good thing is you can handle it. You have all the tools that you need, and let's focus in on that cup. With that Scorpio, there's this kind of psychic ability that you guys have that you're able to manifest whatever it is that you want, right? And so you have all this manifestation energy presently with you. So if you do feel overwhelmed, you have all the tools in your toolkit in order to be successful. So there's no need for you to clam up and not do anything because you're like, oh wow, I feel like I'm kind of drowning, is like the word that I like to use with water signs, because we tend to go internal and drown. Drown in reality, drown in everyday life, drown in, whatever it is that we're drowning in, right? So the most likely outcome is the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card of waiting and patience. So like I said, if this is something that you've manifested, if this is something that you wanted and you've been waiting for it, I think that it's going to get easier after it gets a little bit harder. I think that you're going to be stretched to your limits, but this is also a card of patience and waiting. So if you planted those seeds and you're waiting to see, well, where does all this lead? What do I get out of this? Where is this coming from? Then you'll definitely be able to do that, and you'll be able to see that ultimately, right? But it's just going to take time. And then with the Two of Pentacles being an advice, and that's why I really think that this has to do with work and home opposed to like relationships, just because like Pentacles and Wands. But I think that it's asking you to use your spirituality to navigate, right? And to navigate the balance, navigate this load. I really feel like you've taken on a lot. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is, but it seems like you're juggling a lot. I don't even know if this is a card of indecision. It could be a card of indecision where you're just like, what should I do? But I just think it's like, how do I balance the relationships that I have with the work that I carry on? How do I balance, my temperament with the people that I'm around, right? And so you're kind of in this state of flux. And so everything around you can be ooey, 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 wazzy, But with this being the advice, it's not necessarily a bad thing that you feel that way, but you're going to want to figure out how you can balance so you can move forward. Because the Temperance card is right above this in this particular spread, right? So I'm going to pull out a card of clarification so we can see what this burden might be. Why is it two? Oops. Oops. Let's see. There's a Star card, which I saw twice. So there's hope. Because that's the Star card. It was at the bottom of the deck. Ooh. Okay. There seems to be a divine love coming in, right? And it might be through work. And so you could be trying to balance a relationship with a coworker. I'm getting that. I'm getting that too. Or you're caught between two people. And you're trying to figure out which one you're going to be with is another story that I'm getting. But it seems like with this 3 being here, right, you go from a 1 to a 3, and then it feels like a burden. So there's 2 things that are being wrestled. And we have 2 cups here, right, and then we have 2 again. So if you're dealing with, or it could be a job, you don't know which job you want, but it just seems like you're between 2 things. That's applicable to anything, I think. What are 2 things? That's It's conflict. So we have the 5 of Wands, which is a card of conflict. And then we have the 8 of Swords, which is a card of kind of self-deprecation and being mentally entrapped. So whatever this decision is, I'm seeing a lot of anxiety, and I think a lot of people disagree with you, and you're trying to defend it. Maybe you are between 2 people. I'm really hearing that story for somebody out there. You're really between 2 people, and you really don't know what it is that you're going to do. And some of you, you're between 2 jobs, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to balance, and it's become a burden. This was something that you were excited about, but now you're worried about it. But the cool thing about this card, I'm going to get into this card really quickly. The coolest thing about this card, right, and I used to hearing that, but this is you are in the self-control. You have bound yourself. You have let these swords fall around you, right? This isn't something, sorry, the computer went back. This isn't something that was put onto you. This is something, if somebody was like, you suck, you believed it. The cool thing about you being the center of this and you being the only one here is you have the power to take yourself out of it. You can sit here and be like, well, I'm tied up. I don't really know what to do. I don't know what direction to go. But come on now, Scorpios. How long can you stay in this energy? Truly, how long can you stay in this energy before you get angry and you start to use that stinger? Not very long. So I really suggest balance. I really, really, really suggest using this temperance, tapping into that Sagittarian energy. If you have a Sagittarius friend, call them up and be like, how do you just not give a fuck? How do you just go and do what you want? And they'll tell you. They'll tell you, I don't know. It just, I just fucking do it. And then you'll be like, oh, sorry. You'll be like, oh, it's that simple? And then you don't want to fucking do that. Because you don't want to be here. No one truly wants to be here. Okay? So I'm going to pull one more card. Just for overall. One more card for Scorpio, please, for September 2018. One more card for Scorpio, September 2018. One more card for Scorpio, energy, September 2018. And guess what it is? It's the sun. So it's all going to work out. And I saw the star earlier, so I was going to bring that back up. It's all going to work out. Whatever it is, whatever this burden is that you feel, the sun, whatever this mental entrapment that you feel, the sun is kind of going to block this out, because let's not forget that you have the Magician in your present. So you can manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest, even though it might take time. Okay? So if you're between two people, if you're between work and love, and for some of you, it's work and love. It's work and love. How much work should I put in? And I just discovered a new relationship. And where do I go from there? So, I hope that you enjoyed your reading, Scorpio, for the month of September 2018. If you did, and even if you didn't, right? I'm just kidding. But like and subscribe, and I will probably most likely be doing weeklies, or bi-weeklies, and like all kinds of stuff. So just let me know what you want. Because we're building this together, and, see you soon. There's that decision card again. There's being between two things, two people, work and love. Bye, Scorpios.